Okay.
Oh, she did. I wonder
Yeah.
why I got the call from Susan today.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Kathy's up there. Good for her.
Chairman LaBiche,
Here?
Commissioner Avery, Commissioner Bell,
Present.
Commissioner Berube, Commissioner Crawford,
Present.
Commissioner Goodness,
Here.
Commissioner Javid,
Here.
Commissioner Macon,
Here.
Commissioner Provo,
Here.
Commissioner Segee is absent, Commissioner Templeton.
Here.
Thank you.
All righty, we'll, first order of business is approval of the minutes that everyone was sent for August 8th, 2022.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as they were sent out. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, great. All right, we'll move into our regular meeting, and our our first file is PZ 2022-210, a request for a certificate of demolition to demolish a house, carport, and sheds. Applicant's the City of Beaumont, and the location is 2332 Avalon Avenue. There's staff.
Good afternoon. Boyd Meyer Building Official requests a certificate of demolition for the house, carport, and sheds located at 2332 Avalon Avenue. According to the inspection report, this structure was originally tagged on April 12, 2021. The property owner, James Eller, signed up for the work program, which allows 150 days to bring the structure up to code. Mr. Eller requested an extension of 90 days to complete necessary repairs and was granted such. A reinspection was completed January 13, 2022, and appeared no repairs had been completed since the original tag date. The structure has serious foundation issues, which would require the home to be leveled and rotted beams to be replaced, including rotted window frames and overgrowth of vines and shrubs. The owner does not owe taxes. Based on the extensive repairs needed for this structure, the building code staff is recommending a raise order. Planning staff recommends approval of this request.
All right, any questions for staff?
I can go through the slides real quick for
Sure.
you guys. This is the subject property. This is a closer pic. This is of the porch. You can see the overgrowth of the vines and shrubs are starting to take over. Vines are growing through the roof. Boarded windows. The porch on the opposite angle. And you can see that those are shrubs that have grown all the way up to the roof of the house. This is the shed in the back. I do not see the property owner here today, but we do have our demolition coordinator.
Is there anyone living in this house right now?
No, sir.
Okay.
And has there any attempt recently been made to the homeowner?
I can let the demolition coordinator take on here.
We actually did go back out on October the 28th because we were setting it to go, depending on what y'all decide, to go before city council for it to be demolished. So another inspection was done on October the 28th. I was on vacation, so I was not able to get her the information, plus it would have been after everything anyways. It still looks exactly the same. He has not contacted us at all. We do send out the letters, so if, depending on what y'all's decision are, we will send out the letter for council for him to show up. And then I do believe that y'all sent out a letter for this as well.
We do. We send it to the property owner.
I have a question. What happens to the property after, or if it's approved that everything's demolished? He still owns the property?
He will still own.
And can rebuild?
Correct.
Okay. And there's no charge to the homeowner, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you know how long it's been vacant?
I'm not 100% on that. I do know that the neighbors are, especially the one right next door, is having some issues with snakes, rats. Pache actually went out to do an inspection as well, and she took off running because the snake was coming out of the evatter. So we are having some issues with some pretty bad rodents over there. He did tell me it is a family house, and evidently there was some money somewhere that the sisters and brothers were going to split up. That was back in April of 21, and he did pull a permit, but he hasn't done any work. The whole back of the house was an add-on on one side, and he said that whole thing has to be torn off. I told him to at least start on that, and he hasn't done any of that, but he says all of that add-on is rotten. Water's gotten all in there, and
I will add real quick, we do send out property owner notices within 200 feet. We received 1 in favor, 0 in opposition. The 1 in favor says, the home in question is a hazard to the community. Also, it is in disrepair. Please demolish.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve file PZ 2022-210.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other, excuse me, any other questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, the notice is approved.
It's such
And-
a shame, because if you look at the before photos in the back, when it was, because it wasn't a spare survey, it's, but it
Yep.
goes so far.
All right, our next file is PZ 2022-386, a request for a certificate of appropriateness to replace the porch columns of a house. The applicant is Vaughn Samples, and the location is 2350 South Street. Staff report, please.
Vaughn Samples requests permission to remove the 4 existing front porch posts and replace with 2 new square columns to their home located at 2350 South Street. The current porch columns are rotted and are 4x4 in profile. Mr. Samples wishes to remove those columns and replace with 2 10x6 columns. He intends to paint the new columns to match the existing color scheme of his home. This home is categorized as a craftsman style house. Examples of these are in a field guide to American houses, page 463. Larger posts with a column base seem to be appropriate for homes within this era. Planning staff recommends approval of this request with the following condition: that a column base shall be installed at the bottom of the posts. When I went out to the property last week to take the pictures, it appears the posts have already been replaced. This is the subject property. A zoom in on the posts, and then one more. And then this is what was there before. So you can see the two, you can see the 2 posts right here. Now they have 1 solid. I do not believe that they are here today.
Can you go back to the other picture, please?
Would you like the full picture or the
Yeah, the
zoomed
full
in?
picture,
Okay.
please. Thank you.
The adjustments they did are nice and would have
They
been
are.
something approved, but they did it without permission.
That's correct.
Before and after,
No permit then.
Right. So they would have to get their building permit, and we would have to do an inspection to make sure the integrity is okay.
Why did they do it that way?
So I'm unsure. I know that they came in and they applied for the CA. Now it was like a day or 2 right after the last deadline for the meeting prior to this one. So I know that they had to wait a while. I'm unsure what happened, because I know that they applied for everything that they needed to on the CA. And then I guess he had some things that were approved, but it was clear that the columns were not approved to be installed without the permission from the HLC. So like, updated paint and such was approved, but I'm unsure why they moved forward with it, because it was pretty clear.
Any other questions for staff? Discussion?
I like the post now, but I wish they'd gotten the approval first.
I had downloaded,
You did?
so
Yeah.
it looks just like the post that he put in. So, well, I mean, it looks like they're doing a great job of updating the house and getting it cleaned up and getting the yard cleaned up. The house looks good, the paint scheme looks nice.
What kind of motion do we need?
We just need a motion for,
To approve.
to approve.
And then they still have to go through you, correct?
Yeah, they would still have to get their building permit after this.
But even if we approve it now, that's still a requirement to go through you, correct?
Yeah, yes, yes.
So I make a motion that we approve PZ 2022-386.
Second.
Pending the, further permitting approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, can be approved. All right, our next file is PZ 2022-409, a request for a certificate of appropriateness to replace windows and the front porch of a house. The applicant is Isaac Aguirre. The location is 863rd Street.
The applicant, Isaac Aguirre, is seeking permission to replace 10 windows to the house located at 863rd Street. Replacement of the windows was completed without the benefit of a CA or building permits. Originally, the windows were 1/1 in appearance. The newly installed windows are 6/6 in appearance. Additionally, Mr. Aguirre seeks permission to keep his new front porch. The new porch is made of wood and has one exit to the north via stairs. This home appears to be a blend of a national and colonial revival style architecture. Examples of this are located in a field guide to American houses, pages 336, example 7, and pages 98 through 99. The request to have 6/6 pane windows seems appropriate. Examples of national homes reveal small porch additions to be common. However, they appear to be painted the same color as the main structure. Staff recommends approval of this request with the following condition. The porch shall be painted the same color as the main structure. This is the subject property. You can see the new addition of the porch on the front and the new windows installed. This is another view of it. These windows were also new on this side. This is a picture of what was there before, so you can see how the porch was laid out. I do not believe that the applicant is here today.
All right, any questions for staff? And applicant is not in the audience?
No, sir.
All right, I'll ask for a motion, please.
I make a motion that we approve file PZ 2202-409.
With the staff
With the-
recommendation?
Yes, with the condition.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, be approved. Our next file is PZ 2022-433, a request for a certificate of appropriateness to replace windows to a house. The applicant is Carlos Perez, and the location is 2470 North Street.
Carlos Perez, homeowner, is seeking permission to replace 12 windows to the house located at 2470 North Street. The replacement of 8 windows was completed without the benefit of a certificate of appropriateness or building permits. Originally, the windows appeared to have been 6/1 pane in appearance. The windows that have been installed are 1/1 in appearance. The windows on the front of the home have not been altered. This home is categorized as craftsman style house. Examples for this style of home are located in a field guide to American houses, pages 456 through 463. The request to have 1/1 pane windows seems appropriate because it is typical for a home within this era to have a variety of panes. Staff recommends approval of this request with the following condition: that the 4 front windows of the house must be replaced with 6/1 pane windows to match existing. This is the subject property. You can see in the front, these windows have not been altered. There's 4 of them. They have been installed on the sides though, right here, and on the opposite side. And this is a close-up so that you guys can see the windows a little bit better on the front. We do have the applicant in the audience.
All right. Any questions for staff? All right, Mr. Perez, if you would come forward, state your name and your home address for our record, and then we'll talk about what you're trying to do.
2470 North Street. We're just wanting to replace the windows. We already bought them, and we didn't know that we had to have a permit or anything. I wasn't found out till later. We just got the house, but we really wanted them all to match the 1x1s we've already done, and the other 6x6 really didn't seem to go with, because we're going to also later on request to change the siding because the siding is rotten. So that would kind of match better with the open 1x1.
Any questions for Mr. Perez? Mr. Perez, in this neighborhood, the front of that house is like very sacred to everybody. So when you do modifications to the front of the house, this group is going to be very, very picky about you not putting back exactly what was on the house originally.
Right.
So, that's very important. Did you replace this front door when you replaced the windows?
No, sir. We bought it like that.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Perez?
So you've already purchased the windows for the front?
Yes, ma'am. We just halted on building ones. We saw we needed a permit.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Perez. All right. I'll open it up for discussion or a motion.
I make a motion that we approve file PZ 2022-433 with the condition listed by staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, I'll call for a motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, it's approved, Mr. Perez, with the condition that you have to install 6/1 windows on the front of the house. So maybe you can buy the 6/6 mullions to put in the existing windows. I hope that you can. But please, before you do anything to the outside of this house, please get your permit. Make sure that you don't have any problems so you don't waste any money. But everybody here, many of the people up here live in the neighborhoods. We're always appreciative of people trying to save these houses and make them look nice. So good luck with you in the future on the house. Thank you. All right, our next file is PZ 2022-444, request for a certificate of appropriateness to remodel a garage and apartment The applicant is Carmen Garza, and the location is 2104 Pecos Street.
Yes. Homeowner Carmen Garza requests to remodel the exterior of the garage of her garage apartment located at 2104 Pecos Street. Construction occurred without the benefit of an approved certificate of appropriateness or building permits. The structure had vertical siding, which was replaced with 8-inch horizontal cement planks. Ms. Garza replaced the rotted exterior stairs with new wooden stairs. Lastly, the applicant painted the garage apartment to match the main structure located on the same lot. Staff recommends approval of the request with the following condition. All appropriate permits and required inspections must be obtained through the Building Codes Department. This is the subject property. This is the garage apartment on the rear side of the property. Another view of the garage apartment. These are the new stairs that were installed. This is what it did look like versus what it does now. And I believe that the applicant is here.
All right, any questions for staff?
Can you put one of the finished pictures back up of the, yeah, thanks.
Big improvement.
Yeah. Ms. Garza, if you'd like to come forward, please.
It's Miss Gama.
Gama.
Gama, G-A-M-A.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be her interpreter if I can go up there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's it? Okay.
If you both could just state your name and address for the record.
Angelica Martinez, 985 Roberts Road. I live in Bider. Quieren que tú digas tu nombre
Carmen Gama,
y la dirección donde vives.
2104 Pecos, Beaumont, Texas, 77701.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, yeah,
Excuse
we'll
me,
just,
I think she didn't get a permit. I don't know. I'm just gonna be her interpreter, but
okay.
you see what. ¿Qué pasó cuando que no agarraste permiso?
Es que mi hijo habló
Ajá.
y posiblemente él no dijo exactamente, no le preguntaron la dirección y le dijeron que si iba a reemplazar estaba bien, pero
Okay,
que sí.
déjame decirle. Her son had called to get a permit, but he did not tell them the location of that it was historical. So te dijeron que sí podía, ¿no?
Que podía reemplazar pero no quitar nada, nada más quitar lo que estaba dañado.
That they could remodel, but they couldn't take off what was, ¿qué era lo que no querían que quitaras?
Como nada más quitar la madera que estaba dañada, pero no poner ventanas, no nada de eso.
Yeah, pero no pusiste ventanas o sí?
No.
That they couldn't take off like the windows or nothing, but they could replace like the siding, I'm assuming, But
Y la
the city
escalera.
didn't know, I mean, he didn't know that it was an
Y
historical.
mire, así está.
Pero ellos tienen eso.
Sí.
She was showing me
Estaba
a
muy
picture
dañada y
that y'all
estaba
do have.
hoyos, quebrados, todo.
So she did not get a, no agarraste permiso. Tú
No.
lo hiciste, no, she did not get a
No.
permit. She did not. They did it on their own, which she didn't know she was in a historical, district, so she's just trying to, well, you can see her home in the front, she's just trying to, make it better, but that's why we're
Y
here.
queríamos que quede como pintado igual que la casa.
And
Y
she
es el
wants
mismo siding.
she wants to put the same siding and paint as her front home, the way her front home looks. But I don't know how to go about that, to get that done. What does she need to do?
Well, if you will get with planning, once the commission has made a decision on the case, you get with planning, and she will help walk you through all of those things. They all happen here at City Hall.
Okay.
So it's not difficult, and we do have people that speak Spanish in the
Okay.
Building Codes Department, so they can help us.
Dice que ahorita van a hacer una decisión, and then van a hablar con ella, y ella te tiene que decir,
Sí.
si aprueban
Está bien.
esto. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Any questions for Ms. Gama?
No, just compliment that it looks nice.
It does look good.
Very
But they
nice.
stopped, te pararon el trabajo.
Sí,
They
está parado.
they stopped the job. She cannot, until we came here.
Well, her house looks very nice.
Oh,
does.
she's
And it's
she tries to
nice.
keep the neighborhood good. Dice que tu casa está muy bonita.
Por eso yo quería que el
Yeah.
apartamento también estuviera bonito igual.
That's why she wants the apartment to look nice also.
Well, it's a big improvement on the apartment and taking out all those old garage doors and
Well, she
other
got
things.
upset because, you know, but they don't know. I mean, I know, but she doesn't know. I live in a town where, in the country, I don't have to get a permission.
Right.
And my house is nice.
Well, we
But we're
don't
in the
want,
city.
we don't want to penalize you, but we do have a lot of people that are not doing what Ms. Gama does.
I understand.
And
They
they
do it
do,
like they want to.
yeah, and
I
it, and
understand.
no respect for the style of the house and everything else. Ms. Gama's trying to make all of her stuff on her property look like it's the same craftsman style, and that is very nice.
I was trying to tell her when we were coming up here, you can't go paint the house pink, yellow, and green in that district. You have to get permission if you do wanna paint it green, pink, or a Mexican flag. You have to get permission.
Right.
That's the law here. I know the law. I've been here 60 years.
Well, we're not trying to be difficult, but
I
we are
understand.
trying to keep the neighbors from moving in next door to something that Ms. Gama has that's very nice
Mm-hmm.
and painting it pink. And now Ms. Gama's property,
Of course.
values
course.
go down too, so.
But
But,
she has a right to fix it, to get it fixed, you know.
that's right.
Dice que ellos van ahorita a ver que ellos no quieren que otra persona se vive contigo en un lado tuyo y pinte la casa rosa
Oh, no.
y amarillo, y si tú vas mirando tu casa bonita. All right,
All right, any other questions?
thank you.
Thank you.
Ahorita te voy a decir.
All right, I'll open it up for discussion or a motion.
I make a motion that we approve PZ 2022-444, pending the staff, permitting, an inspection process.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All righty, thank you. It's be approved. Yes.
So how does she go about coming up to y'all? I'm actually gonna have this in later. That's for you guys to decide for. All right, you guys can use your phone. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, our next item is the Historic District Code Enforcement Report. No need to spend more time on it than we need.
Good afternoon. We had 21 new historic violations, 3 historic re-inspections, 1 new JV violation, 2 JV re-inspections, 1 new litter violation, 5 litter re-inspections, 1 new weed violation, 26 weed re-inspections, 9 CCC inspections, a total of 69 inspections.
So what are you doing with your spare time?
Well, as you know, this is now not the summer months anymore, so grass is not growing.
The grass is slowing down now. All right, any other questions for staff? Questions on the historical report? If not, we'll stand adjourned.
Well, you said if there's any on the report, but I did have something for other business.
Okay?
What can we do, because everybody comes up here every meeting and says, I didn't know we were supposed to have a permit. Can we put a notice in their water bills in that particular district? I asked if the city would pay for some sort of a postcard, and we volunteered for our Oaks Historic District that we would, put them out. We could do, put them in the doors if we have to. People don't know, and then they come up here, and it just feels like they need to know whether they're just moving in or if they've lived there for a long time. What can we do?
So as far as those templates, we were able to make you know, to make some of those door hangers. However, the city can't fund printing those off. You know, it may be a request that you could place to the city manager, but as far as like on a planning level, we can't approve that because it may show favoritism to basically to you know, the neighborhood association versus like actual city business. Now the water bill, possibly. However, we may run into where, you know, if the water bill is paid by the owner and not necessarily the renter, who sometimes does work to the outside, that we could run into issues with that. But the water bill could be something that we could look into, and I could definitely follow up on that part. But as far as printing off door hangers and such, it would be costly, and essentially it comes out of taxpayer money, so we would just have to get certain approvals for that.
It is regulated, you know, obviously we're here in City Hall, this is regulated by the city, it's something the city has to have control of. I mean, you don't want them to break the law, but you don't tell them what the law is. You don't let people speed down the street, but you have stop signs everywhere, green lights. I mean, there's something that has to be done to let them know that they're even breaking, you know, that they're not following the rules.
Right.
So I think that falls onto the city to inform them.
I can revisit.
Who
with
is
them.
our council person, that,
So I believe Taylor Neal, but I think that it goes to Feldshaw, or at large, for the historic area.
So at
Okay,
large would
could-
be AJ and Feldshaw, and now it would be
Right.
Durio because they've redrawn the line, so Taylor's not our council.
Right. I believe the main one is Feldshaw.
can we request that council person and the city manager to be at our next meeting? So
Yes,
we can
if
a
you
short
could-
discussion?
Yeah,
about
if
it?
we could, you know, have that formal request, you can just send me an email. I can relay it, or we can send an email straight to them. Just a formal request. But yeah.
I have noticed that in the Beaumont Enterprise, there's been a nice article weekly or so about city business or,
Yeah,
you know,
I noticed
that might be a good place to put information about if you live in the historic district that you need a permit for any work on the outside. You know, I think it's well done. It covers a lot of stuff that the city's doing, and it's informational.
Well, that, and we can, we can say, I mean, we have a city department that helps citizens with that.
Right.
So the idea isn't just, hey, you need to do this. It's, hey, we have a department at the city that wants to help you if you want to work on your house in the historic district. Please come by. It doesn't cost you anything. And
Right.
tell us what you want to do and let us help you.
Sure.
Do you all have a city social media page, or that go under the whole city?
You know, we do. We've recently expanded an actual, oh my gosh, I'm losing the words, but an actual division, communications division. So that's a great idea.
Yeah, Lauren Lawrence with their
No, that's why I said that.
She's
That's why I asked
fantastic.
that. Yeah, that's why I asked that. I knew she was working on those. So you can maybe put it in that too.
But if the sale goes through the multiple listing, as far as the real estate people, I could notify the board and tell them to put something, because there's a lot of new agents. Oh my, there's so many new agents, and they don't all maybe know about this, so we could put that through our multiple listing. I'd be happy to see a check on that.
That'd be great.
I think that's needed.
Because
Supposedly in the past, that's been done. And it's supposedly in the past, that's been done, but not recently. And the same thing with the water bill. Supposedly in the past, since I've been on here, and before, it was supposed to have been done. I don't know if it ever happened or not. But I mean, there's some ways to communicate. We just have to make it happen.
And I will reach out to Felshaw and Neal myself
Okay.
too, because I mean, this is something we've been trying to get done for a long time.
Yes,
I know
ma'am.
you don't have it in your budget, but there's more ways we could get this done,
Yes, ma'am.
or other ways.
All right, any other business? All right, if none, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you all.
Meeting.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank